Welcome back to episode 41 of the FullRange Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Johnson. We are presented by the Old Walls House Podcast with Jordan Wallenberg. You can check him out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube as well on the Old Walls House Podcast page. We are also on there. Big shout out to Wally on his podcast for letting us be on his pod the next couple weeks, the last couple weeks prior to this as well. We're previewing each division in the NFL over on his podcast. He talks about that and amongst other things. We're trying to drop some knowledge before the NFL season comes out. It is episode 41 of the FullRange Podcast. I'm excited for today's show, this week's show. If you're looking for us, if this is your first time listening to the pod, every Thursday we drop one. I don't want to promise every Thursday, but typically every Thursday. I don't think I've missed a Thursday in the 41 times that I've done this. A lot's changed. The show is morphing into what it is. We talk mental health, workout stuff. We play some games. We bring in some coaches, my buddies, and I just blab on and talk the shit, and we rank things. That's one of our favorite segments here on the show as well. We got a good one for you today. If you're looking for us, show us some love on Instagram at the FullRange Pod. We'll drop some reels, clips that I see on TikTok or Instagram, whatever it might be. We put stuff out there as much as we possibly can. If you're looking for the pod, obviously you're listening to us on YouTube or Spotify. Spotify at the FullRange Podcast and YouTube. You can either go to Old Walls House Podcast and find us on there, or just search the FullRange Podcast, FullRange being one word. You'll find us on YouTube as well. Another really, really great way to help out our show is the Old Walls House FullRange merchandise store. The website is ol-walls-shop.fourthwall.com. Fourth Wall being spelled Fourth, wall.com. So check us out there. I am wearing one of the shirts as we speak. This is the OG FullRange Podcast t-shirt. There's lots of different colors, different items on there. You got tumblers and mouse pads and sweatshirts, hoodies, shorts, joggers, all sorts of good stuff. Shout out to everybody who has purchased some stuff for us to help out the show. So let's get this week's podcast underway. I'm going to start a little negative today before we get into have some fun, but it's all in fun. Don't at me or whatever and be like, oh, you're so negative. This is supposed to be positive. I don't give a shit. So in my house, we have some pets. And if you know me personally, you probably know this already, but I have to vent. And, somewhat of this podcast is just me venting sometimes, which is kind of nice. It's a little therapeutic for me, and hopefully maybe you feel the same. Maybe you feel indifferent, whatever it might be. We have some pets in the house, 2 specifically. The first one is my dog. His name is Barkley. He's wonderful. He's happy. He's great. He can be a pain in the ass, like most dogs. He eats just about everything. I jokingly call him the garbage can sometimes. He'll knock over garbage cans. He'll jump up on the counters. Well, not his whole body, but he'll get his front legs up on the counters. He'll eat a whole pound of raw meat if, it's left out or something. Whatever is left out, he'll end up finding it. And then some days he doesn't do it at all. He'll knock down the garbage can. In the past, he's eaten my daughter's dirty diapers, had to make him puke, all these things. But he's a wonderful dog. And I truly believe most dogs, if not all of them, but I can't speak in definites here, but most dogs, all they want to do is make you happy. They're truly a man's best friend. Man, woman, child. They really, really are. They're excited every time you come home. They're anxious when you leave. They want to play. They want to lay down. They want your attention. And yes, sometimes those things are annoying, but at the base of it all, what a great heart dogs have. And I loved it. He's a big dog, which I think is better than the small dogs, but to each their own, man. To each their own. If you have a small dog out there, it's probably lovely. The second animal in the Johnson household is a cat. Now, here's where the complaining starts. I am not a cat person. Never have been, never really will be. I've had cats growing up, which were great cats. I remember back in the day, I had a cat named Ringo. He had a white ring around one of his back legs. He was a phenomenal cat. Liked being pet. Didn't really, he'd scratch every once in a while and stuff. The biggest complaint I had with that cat is my mom would always complain that it was scratching the couch. Whatever. But the idea of cats is great. They shit and piss in a box. You just got to change it. They'll kind of go and please, they'll go and come around as they please, and they'll eat by themselves. You don't have to potty train them necessarily. All those benefits. If you're going away for a couple of days, you leave out a bunch of food, you make sure the litter box is cleaned, and you're probably good to go. But I just don't like cats in general. I think they're monsters, somewhat. And the cat that we have was a deal with my oldest daughter, Marley, who's been on the show. And she really, really wanted a cat, and which was okay. And we had, lost a dog, due to old age. And, the other dog was kind of like up at Jen's parents. Long story short, they wanted an animal. Marley wanted a cat. So I was like, okay, if we get a cat, I have nothing to do with it. I will not change the box. I will not feed it. I'm not going to do it. And I can honestly say I probably can count on one hand the amount of times and however many years that cat's been alive, for at least 4, 5, 6 years, how many times I've fed it. And I can count on 0 fingers the amount of times I've probably cleaned the litter box. But Marley wanted the cat. I agreed. Okay, we can get a cat as long as those parameters are met. That I'm not going to take care of it. So we get the cat. It's a very young kitten. A coworker of mine had some kittens that they were getting rid of, so we got one. His name is Chief. I'd typically name most of my animals in the past after my favorite sports team. So, for instance, I had a dog named Dallas after the Dallas Cowboys. I had a dog named Benny after Benny the Bull, the Chicago Bulls mascot. We have Barkley, who really was. We wanted a dog to grow up with the girls, so we kind of gave them some choices. My pick was Emmett for Emmitt Smith, Dallas Cowboys running back. We settled on Barkley because she thought it was fancy. She was really into Fancy Nancy at the time, little kid show. So whatever. All right. So we get the cat, and we're figuring out what to name it. So we name it Chief after the mascot for the Atlanta Braves. Chief, I can't think of it off the top of my head. So Chief comes into our lives and ruins everything. It scratches the couches, which drives me crazy. It likes to go outside, so we let it go outside, and it scratches at the screen of the window, and the screen is basically just torn to shreds now when it wants to come in, which I'll have to replace with money. Cost me money. And the most annoying thing that this cat does is it knows that I don't love it, or at least not like it. It knows. And I feel like cats are just always, they're always like I don't know. They're like that like sneaky friend that's always doing shit to like push your buttons or something. And after a while, you're just like, can you fucking stop? And then they just smile and do it one more time. And the other day, I'm sitting around, and this cat's following me wherever I go. And I'm like, it's rubbing up against my leg. It followed me into the bathroom, and I'm peeing and everything. It's rubbing on my legs. Why? Get away from me. So then it decides to go out into the kitchen. I'm sitting in the living room. I can see the kitchen from where I'm sitting. Literally goes up onto the counter. And mind you, the kitchen counter has a bunch of stuff on it. It has, it has my keys. It had my wallet at the time. It had, I think, my headphones. And then it has a few just kitchen items, cups or whatever it might be. That cat jumps up on the counter and is positioned, just looking right at me. And then it stands up on the counter, and it shouldn't be up there, gets up and just goes, there goes my key. Onto the ground, smash, boom, whatever. So I'm like, this cat. Another one, starts pawing it. There goes my wallet, boom, onto the ground. Boom, there goes another thing. All 3 items were mine. Couldn't have been the kids' headphones, couldn't have been Jen's, whatever, couldn't have been anybody else's, mine. Then he goes, jumps down, jumps up onto like the stool that's in the kitchen, and just looks at me like, do something about it. So then he decides to go out into my bedroom and starts scratching the bedposts. And they're like cloth. It's like a fabric post. Just scratching it all out. Threw that cat outside so much. So, cats versus dogs, Full Range Podcast, all dogs. Chief can suck my nuts. Anyways, another thing that I wanted to be a little ranty about this week. Good old Jerry Jones. Now, if you listen to the old Walls House podcast too, you heard me not this last week, but the week before. We talked about the NFC and AFC East, and we talked about the Cowboys. I just saw a thing, and I apologize if you're more informed than me about this, but Jerry Jones has had cancer. Now, Jerry Jones is the GM and owner of the Dallas Cowboys. If you live in outer space or never watch football, that's what I'm talking about. He's 80 plus years old. He's got cancer, and he's been battling it kind of quietly for years now, I guess. And it just got released that he quietly had cancer, and he was trying to like keep it under the down low, I guess. And he's clear of cancer. God bless him. From the bottom of my heart, I don't really ever want to see anybody struggle with any kind of disease or anything, especially as they get older and all these different things. But I got to say it on the Full Range podcast. He then follows it up with either, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, with a clip. And he's being interviewed by a surrounding of reporters and everything. And he literally says about the Dallas Cowboys that whenever they're in a lull, he'll make sure he'll get out of it. And what he was alluding to, for you folks out there listening this week, he was alluding to the fact that if the Cowboys aren't in the news, if they're not in the forefront of your ESPNs and, your Fox Sports and your NBCs and whatever it might be, he will make sure that they get a headline. Now, this is in light of all the drama that's been going on with their all-pro defensive end, defensive player of the year type caliber player, Micah Parsons, and they won't pay him. Now, mind you, if you're not a Cowboys fan or if you're not an NFL fan, they have paid the likes of Jake Ferguson, their tight end. They have paid the likes of Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs. They've paid Dak Prescott. They've paid Osa Odighizuwa, their defensive tackle. In most of the time, except for maybe Dak Prescott, they've paid those guys ahead of time. Their contracts weren't up. Micah Parsons has another year on his contract after this year. He's got a 5th-year option because they draft him in the first round. But it's all like personal now. Micah Parsons wants to get traded, do all this stuff. The clown show that I have to deal with as a Dallas Cowboys fan deserves another complaint on a podcast, and I'm choosing my platform to do it. It's incredibly depressing to think about other Cowboys fans in the nonsense that we have to go through on a year-to-year basis. This guy has not put together a team that's been in the NFC Championship or Super Bowl in 30 years. I'm 36. I was born in 1989. 36 years old, and I haven't sniffed an NFC Championship game since I was going in like first, second grade. That's a long time ago, folks. I've been a teacher for 12 years, 13 years altogether. I've been through high school. I've been through college. I've been through my 20s. Now I'm on the closer side to 40. And the fact that he goes on camera and finally admits to what everybody just says about the Cowboys, and he said it before in the past, but any press is good press. So bad press is good press for him. And it really irks me. This guy is a billionaire, and all he's worried about is really his pocket. And at this point, all the stuff a couple years ago about we're all in, we're doing this and we're doing that is nonsense. And what worries me the most is I was trying to give their new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, a little bit of a shot here because it wasn't like an ideal hire at the time. I'm starting to lose faith in that hire, that this is just another Jason Garrett, maybe another Mike McCarthy type hire where it really doesn't matter what kind of coach they are. They have no chance because of the guys above them. And I equivalate it to like imagine you have a job out there and you get hired to run this team, this maybe a classroom, or you're the supervisor of these people at a factory, whatever it might be. Just put yourself in like a supervisor type situation, and you have to deal with different personalities, different whatever it might be. And then you sit there and your boss that puts you in a situation like this is your section of the job. You got it all, man. You all these 20 to 30, 40, 50 guys or gals, they're yours. Like, let's produce here. And he just hovers over your shoulder every single day and says, well, you should be having him do this. You should have him do that. No, she should be doing this. Nope. We're not going to pay her that much. She's going to do this. There's just no chance. You cannot produce your culture, your personality, your anything on any of that. And it makes me feel even worse in the Cowboys world. It makes me feel even worse what Dak Prescott had to go to. CeeDee Lamb, when his contract stuff was up last year and he was trying to get a new deal, and all like the drama and everything. And people were so hard on Dak Prescott and so hard on CeeDee Lamb. And people are being hard on Trayvon Diggs because he's admitted that he might not be the happiest in Dallas. I have no reason to not believe those guys at all anymore because they're inside the building. And they got to deal with an 80-plus-year-old man who thinks he's the head coach, GM, owner, and he probably thinks he can play better than the Dallas Cowboys players. The team needs defensive tackle help. The team needs cornerback help in the secondary. The team probably needs to add another O-lineman, even though they went out and brought back La'el Collins, veteran, good player. Like, this team needs a lot. And Steven and Jerry Jones, the COO and the GM/owner, won't do anything about it. I've heard rumblings that there could be trade type things on the blocks when it comes to bringing in a corner or a defensive tackle or something. There's free agents out there. I have no faith that they're going to do anything. Jerry Jones should be in a home. He shouldn't be running the franchise anymore. And right now, I feel like I'm going to go another 30 years without seeing an NFC championship game. I really, really do. And I feel bad because I felt bad for Tony Romo, Jason Witten, Des Bryant, all those guys back in the 2010s. I felt bad for the shit show it was in the early 2000s. I even feel more bad now for guys like Troy Aikman at the end of their career when Jerry Jones was bringing in head coaches that didn't know shit, Dave Campo and all those guys, and they were running the franchise into the ground for the next 6 or 7 years until Tony Romo arrived and kind of revigorated the franchise a little bit. And I feel like that was almost a downfall. Jerry Jones looked at it and it's like, yes, we're back. We can start making money again. He doesn't give a shit about winning. That's my rant. All right. Let's get an ad read real quick. Episode 41 of the Full Range Podcast is brought to you by this week Doldos, DLDOs. Whether you're at home on a date night or at a WNBA game, a Doldo will always surprise you, enhance the experience, and make you want to come back for more. Try the new throwable dildos, especially suited to launch from further distances. These aren't just built for stationary or light action anymore. Try the new Doldo 2X for a lighter, more durable, penetrating throw. For an all-new price of $39.99, or buy their new 5-pack of throwaway dildos for a buy one, get one 50% off of $32.99. Again, that's dildos. Watch out, girls. Here come the dildos. Available now. It's a fake ad. All right. Let's bring in our guest for this week. I'm really, really excited, folks. So let's bring him in right now. And for the first time on the Full Range Podcast, we have a new guest today. His name is Dustin White, an old friend. How you doing, D. White?
Hey, MJ. Glad I got invited finally. I've been excited for this. I know we've all been pretty busy, but no, I've been good. I've been busy. A lot of things in the mix with old D Weezy's life as it is. But no, glad to be here.
I'm super excited. It's been a long time. Been a long time. So before we jump into anything, we'll have some stuff to cover. I know you got some maybe like legal stuff that you got to do before we get into this. So I'm going to give you the floor here for a second so you can get that out of the way.
Yeah. Let me just clean up the paperwork. Kind of a wild thing that I even have to do this, which is going to lead to great conversation because it's just it's a wild series of events. But everything I say today is going to be of my own personal opinion and thoughts. In no way, shape, or form is anything I say today representative of the Department of Defense or the United States government. There it is. Now
That's
we can
awesome.
Let loose.
Dude, I feel like so official right now, too.
Yeah.
That's
you
awesome.
Look official, dude. I have some headphones, but I got
merch.
Oh, you got merch.
Yeah, I got merch, man. We got merch. So Wally set up a little merchandise. I love it.
Peggy's Deli.
Wally set up it's called fourthwall.com or something. It's like a merchandise thing. And it's like all the t-shirts and stuff you would get like near a beach, like that brand or whatever. So it's all that stuff. And like you can upload like your logos and stuff. I got like mouse pads, tumblers, t-shirts, crew neck, hoodies, shorts, joggers. I got a whole bunch of stuff on there. He does too. So we have our little, I always plug it in the show. I already did that in the beginning though. So first of all, man, it's been, last time. So originally Dustin's from our area here, Towanda, Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania. Has that been like 2 years ago when you were back home?
Yeah, it'll be right about, I'd say almost 2 years, probably close to exactly.
Yeah. It was somewhere around this time of year or so. Yep. I remember that. And man, I still remember like Bill and I being together that day. And he was like so weird about shit. And like I got in his car and he was like, yeah, just we'll roll down the parkway or whatever. And then all of a sudden we're like pulling up and we pull into your parents' driveway. And I was like, no fucking way. There's no way. Like I was so excited. That was a great day. So, so first of all, I guess we can kind of dive in. Like, how's everything doing, dude? I saw it. I'm not going to throw out any names, but your fucking oldest is like, what? Like 8th grade or
he's going to be 12.
7th grade, 6th or 7th grade. I saw, right?
Just started 6th. Yeah.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
I keep seeing everybody's kids like Ethan's, smashing dingers, but he's been doing that since he was 2.
True.
Chip off the old block.
Yep.
But yeah, I got the 6 and 11-year-old now. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And like my girls are 10 and 7, like going into 5th and 2nd. Like it's just, it's mind blowing. Even like the girls just got their hair cut today, and even like their hairdresser was like talking about Marley, my oldest. She was like, she sounds like she's 16 when she talks. Like it's wild.
Yeah. That's my daughter. She's 6 and she sounds like she's 16. Acts like she dresses. It's gonna be fun with that one.
So let me ask you this, just to catch up. And this is really like we were talking off air here a little bit. Like a lot of these questions are questions I legitimately have. Are you residing in Oklahoma still? Okay, I didn't think so.
Nope. Yeah, so I'm outside of Memphis right now.
Okay.
I've been in Oklahoma for the last like 6 years, 7 years. Got a position now here in Memphis working for the Admiral, which is, again, wild.
Yeah.
But I should be leaving. I'm trying to go back, get a little closer to Oklahoma. I think around March I should know. But to do a stint at the War College in Leavenworth. It's like 4 hours from Oklahoma, up in Kansas. Just to do some, it's called JPME. It's just a college course deal you have to do before you take command. So trying to knock that out, get a little closer, and then I'll move back to Oklahoma.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you like the area that you're in now?
No, not really.
No.
It's, I mean, you've heard it, Memphis.
Yeah.
I don't know who said it, maybe Hillary Clinton or somebody, but don't come. Don't come.
Do not come.
Do not come.
That was Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris, yeah, one of those dignitaries. Oh, damn. See, that's why I got to read that kind of stuff before.
Yep, that's a good idea.
You tick that off, yeah. But yeah, it's there are some cool things, like I went to it's got a nice, like, not a nice stadium, but a pretty cool stadium. So I went to some bowl games there last year. That was cool. They have some festivals and stuff, but you get down in the city.
Yeah.
And it's like a 60-40,
Yep.
Everything goes okay.
Yeah. So that can be rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long have you been there? You said about a...
Yeah, I got here in December. So I came up here in November to house hunt. Actually, to fall back a little bit, I was supposed to go to Virginia. This is kind of a crazy thing. I accidentally bought a house because of all this, which is another wild statement. So I originally had orders to go to Virginia to be a shooter, which, like the guys in yellow on the Carriers and Top Gun that shoot the jets off, was going to be a cool gig, but it was going to be far away. It was going to be Virginia. The kids are in school in Oklahoma. So I was kind of sad, trying to figure it out. Went out there, bought a house. 2 weeks later, came back to Oklahoma. I hadn't moved out yet. Got a word that this was an option here in Memphis, which is only like 7 hours away from Oklahoma. So that's a drive, a flight if you have to. And I literally just signed the house like 2 weeks ago, and I kind of thought it over and just kind of said, let's roll with it. Ended up renting that house out. So it's good to go.
Nice. Yeah.
But it was a wild series of events, but I'm glad I got here because 7 hours is a lot better than like 20 some,
Yeah. That's not a fun drive, I'm sure. So let's stay on that topic a little bit. So when you started out in kind of like this military world that you've been in for a while, I don't know if I've ever really asked you this, even in the process of like you beginning it, like what drove you to kind of join the forces a little bit here?
Yeah. I mean, so, the crew was working the courthouse back in the day.
Yes, sir.
Me and Bill holding it down, keeping Bradford County safe. And I think everybody in the office is kind of like, man, this is cool. This is all right. But I think we all want a little better, right? People were, Jessica was another one. So we all went our different routes. We were all kind of looking. And I talked to my grandfather a little bit. He was Air Force. And then, my parents were supportive of whatever I did. But I had Landon, right? So he was 3, I think, at the time.
Yep.
So it was kind of more for him. I was just like, let's just try something different. Went and tried to talk to a recruiter at the Air Force. They weren't there. So I was like, I forget where I drove to, but I drove a good distance. Some Navy dude coming out. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I told him, sat down with him. He's like, yeah, you could go officer. You have your degree. Here's an option. I said, okay, come back, take the test, next week. I went back, took the test. They told me they're like, what test are you taking? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know there was options. And then he literally laid out that I could be an aviator, which is fly the planes, a Naval Flight Officer, which basically is the commander of them, like Goose and Top Gun, or a SWO, which basically drives ships. And I said, I'd like to be a mission commander. So I took that test, went down to, passed it, went to OCS, Officer Candidate School, which is basically the initiation process kind of for one of the ways you can go officer. And then went down to Pensacola for flight school. selected the E-6B Mercury Doomsday plane, which we can talk about a little more.
Yeah.
And then, went to Oklahoma City for that stint for the last 6 years.
Wow. So it was really just like talking to your grandfather and just saying like, it's obviously it's like a noble career choice, man. Like it's incredible. But really it was just kind of like, let's try it. Let's go.
It was, exactly that. I mean, It was a little bit of a flame, from the grandfather, but really not a big push. We never really talked about me doing it. He kind of just shared a couple stories. He only did like 3 or 4 years, so he wasn't, a diehard military individual. And so, I just kind of was like, let's just try something, and it just ran with it, I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So your time in Oklahoma, so you had 6 years there, and you mentioned like some of the stuff that you were doing there, the Doomsday plane and all that stuff. So what is that? Obviously for like listeners and stuff, and what was your role and kind of the process throughout that?
Yeah. So the jet itself is a Boeing 707. So if you think about, your, the planes maybe you take from like DC to Philly or not even DC to Philly, probably a bigger plane than that. Probably your biggest United States
like commercial,
like commercially, probably the biggest one you would fly is about the size of a 707. 4 engines. It's a big dude. It's like a 3 and 3 row if you think about it like that. Completely ripped out and then militarized, right? So the mission, we do a lot of missions, right? The one that more or less we can talk about, right, is we do a command and control mission where basically, the worst day in history for mankind happens, right? Nuclear war. We kind of assume, right, places like the Pentagon, the Global Operations Command Center and Offutt, White House, places like that, they're going to get hit, right? Land-based spots. So we basically can become command and control in the sky. So we basically can become the Global Operations Command Center in the air. If the president is still around, we can still we can basically inform him of nuclear strike packages and stuff like that.
So this is basically like a flying command center. Like, you basically have a building floating throughout the air.
Yeah,
basically.
We got beds, kitchen, little toilet, nothing glorious, but we can stay up in the air for 72 hours if we had to.
Wow.
With refueling and everything. And then we can also talk to submarines through the water. So another thing is kind of a second strike, right? If we get hit with nukes, we want to be able to strike back. The launch facilities on the ground obviously have that ability, press a button once they're allowed to. But if they get damaged, they get hit, they get unfortunately killed, right? And they can't launch. We can launch those from the airplane. We can send messages to the submarines that have nukes on them, tell them to launch, and then we can talk to the bombers and tell them to launch and where to, do their things at. So it's a pretty wild gig. It's obviously all I do is practice it right now.
Yep.
Hopefully that just
hopefully it stays that way.
Wraps up my career is just practicing.
That would be and you're flying this son of a bitch.
So I'm the mission commander on it. So more of the tactical expert.
Okay.
I have my crew basically, so telling the kind of the pilots where to go, telling my crew what messages to send, what to do when we receive other messages. At times we'll have 2, 3, 4-star generals, admirals on board, because they would be who would actually advise the president if it came down to it. So we can have up to 20 some people on board. Day to day, we probably have about 14. So it's a wild operation, completely self-sufficient. So when we land somewhere, the same people that are flying the jet, typing, messages, controlling all the systems on the jet, are also getting off the jet, servicing engines, changing tires, doing all the maintenance.
Yep.
So we completely, that's kind of how we set ourselves apart from like the Air Force or something like that, where they just do a specific job.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Wow.
So it's been pretty rewarding. It's pretty cool. You learn some wild stuff. Obviously, there's a bunch of other stuff we do that
you can't necessarily talk about.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, and it should stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
It should stay that way. So are you still doing that now that you've moved to Memphis, or what's the life look like now?
Yeah, so now it's a little different. No, I'm not flying or doing any of those missions.
Yep.
So the way the aviation works in the military, you basically do kind of a 3-year rotation. So you do what's called a sea tour, is what I began in Oklahoma. So I'm deploying on those jets, doing that mission, and then you do a shore based 3 years, which is when I was at the FRS, the Fleet Replacement Squadron, which is basically I was an instructor for those people going to do that operational mission that I was doing. And now I'm on what's called a disassociated sea tour. So you kind of step away from your basic platform to kind of become a more well-rounded officer.
Okay.
So that's where I was going to go to the boat. I was going to see what that life's about. I'm doing this, which is more of like a political. I feel like, I deal a lot. I'm at the Pentagon quite a bit with the Admiral, seeing like more policies and kind of behind the curtain on how the big picture works, which I've learned a lot, and it's actually been pretty cool. It might not sound it, but I've met a lot of people and seen a lot of things that are pretty neat that I didn't ever think I would step foot in. I'm sitting in the Pentagon, at the, Secretary of the Navy's office, just hanging out eating Andes mints.
And 20 years ago, you were sitting in a Jeep Wrangler on Packer Ave or whatever that is, whatever it might be. Fucking insane, dude. That actually popped into my head like a couple times, like in between sentences there. I was like, did he ever picture himself in this world? Like at any moment, like you must have a lot of those moments, like in those situations of like, I'm here right now. Like, what the, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I kind of look at really all of our friends and I'm just like, the world, most of the world, half the world knows, what we were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But, God dang.
Grow up.
If they knew now, like if the people that we deal with right now were like, looking into a crystal ball, seeing us, at the Johnson Fest, chair burnings and
oh, we'll get to that, buddy. We'll get to that.
Core memory I thought about.
Yeah, I know. Holy shit. So now you're in Memphis. You're hopefully going, at least relatively soon, hopefully go back closer to Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit off air that you're going for your master's.
Yeah, I should wrap that up in October. I'm on the very final. I just finished up the paper actually today. That will now lead me to the implementation of the capstone, which wraps up the. It's like my thesis capstone deal at the very end.
And then, and you said that was in aviation, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So will that mean more possibly flying or no?
So it just so moving forward, I'll be up for department head, which is kind of like a boss of a division kind of deal. And then after that, I'd be looking at making command. So that's like a skipper. And they're just kind of wickets. Aviation helps, obviously, with flying. So it's definitely just kind of set yourself apart a little bit from the competition, I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
We can kind of wrap this, like kind of the at least professional side of this up a little bit. Do you see yourself staying in this for an extended period of time? Like, what do you have certain goals? Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years? Like, what does the future of Dustin White kind of look like a little bit?
Yeah. So never in a million years would I thought, I'd do 20 years in the military, given just everything. But yeah, I think my plan right now is to do 20. That's really a financial choice, right? That's, full benefits, full everything. I'd probably be looking at wrapping up a skipper tour as a commanding officer of a squadron at that point. So, I'd hit a lot of the high points, but depending where we're at, obviously in the world, it could force me, or not necessarily could, physically force me where I can't leave, but it might be something that I want to stick around for and finish out whatever's going on. So the plan is 10 more years, and then I'd be retiring. But we'll see if I, land in a sick gig or shit's going to,
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Day by day, right? A little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of like coaching. Like it's just, year by year.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes. Exactly. You could get fired. New coach comes in. Who knows? Whatever. But
that's it. Yeah.
So, man, you're going to be, in a perfect world, you're going to be retired in like your 40s.
Yeah, about 45.
Jesus,
I'd be wrapping it up. And then.
That makes me extremely jealous.
Dude, that's one of the best perks, I think. Yeah. And the kids will just be getting out of the house. So, I'll have that GI Bill if I want to go to college with Goose. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's
Arizona
do it.
State, baby.
Back to school, baby.
Back to school.
God, can you imagine being like 45, just cruising into college, with all that your retirement, nothing like really that you got to do, and you just roll into a college setting with 18 to 22-year-old kids?
Good God.
Holy shit. Be a lot of trouble, probably. Where was I gotta go next? Well, what do you I see you drinking something. What are you drinking over there?
Yeah. This is, gosh, I wish I could say it was something else, but it is alcohol.
Okay. All right.
But this is a little half and half twisted tea.
Damn,
it's hot out here.
I should have grabbed the beverage myself.
Yeah, I had a pretty hefty weekend at the racetrack. Been going there a lot, dirt track racing. Been a big fan recently.
Nice.
So I pound quite a bit of Busch Lights, and realized when I went to the refrigerator I had extinguished, the reserves. Found this just sitting there.
Why not?
Yeah, kind of tastes like wine, so I think it might have been there for a little while.
Oh yeah, that's a couple years old probably. Yeah, I actually just did that in my beer fridge. I was really craving an IPA. It's summertime, I just go in like these little, like, I don't know, hit and miss a little bit. Like sometimes I'll just, like, I want to drink some wine, or I want to have a whiskey or something or whatever. And then I'm like, man, a IPA sounds really good right now. So I went out to the refrigerator, and dude, there was like 2 IPAs, and I bet you they've been in there since 2020. Opened it up. First one was actually really, like, it tasted good. And then I was like, I'm going to just crack open the second one, dude. There was so much like sediment and just like, it was just, after a while, it was like, nah, all right, I'm all done there.
Drink that with a spoon.
Speaking of drinking, actually, let's do this. No, let's stay with the drinking since we're on it. All right. As you mentioned before, we've had our fair share of alcoholic beverages in our day together. Yeah. You brought up Johnson Fest and things like that. So it's kind of tradition on the Full Range podcast that we have a segment. It doesn't happen every week, but when we bring in guests, we try to do a rank 'em segment where we kind of rank our, like, it could be top 5 movies. It could be top 5 comedies of the early 2000s. We've done video games. We've done a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
So if I were to and we can just spitball this. It doesn't have to be an official list. If you were to, like, rank, and we can kind of go back and forth on this. If you were to rank your top 5, like, best times to drink, and it can be, and I'll give you freedom. It can be like an actual memory of like that one time, or it can be just like, drinks after work or whatever it might be. You can, like, if you were going to put down some beverages today, what events would you like to be doing, or like time of day or whatever it might be? So, like, let's just spitball on here. What do you think?
All right. Well, the last thing you said there was time of day.
Yeah.
And over the years, that has definitely changed for me. Starting out at a, tender age of,
21.
21. The time was anytime, right?
Yes.
And then it was more of a nighttime thing. But now I'm a day drinker because I can choose, right? I can go until night and keep going, and we can see what happens. Or I could have a good time in the day, pass out, and then be fresh and ready to go for whatever, the next day has for me. And that could be another day drinking day. Who knows? Yeah, so I'm definitely a day drinker, preferably now. Trying to think of
See, I'll stop you for just a
yeah.
second though. The day drinking thing, man, and maybe I don't know, maybe it's my age, or maybe it's just how I do it.
Mhm.
Man, sometimes that day drinking really catches up with me by like
Mhm.
8, 9 o'clock at night. I'm starting to I'm like tired. And then if like other people are around like drinking and they didn't start as early as I did,
Yeah.
like they're just going hard and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. Like I got to go to bed. I'm starting to get a headache. Like I'm just so like worn out where I have to like really prep these days if I'm going to do some like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning and start going. Like that's a job.
Yeah, no, it is. And then being in the Navy, I think I have a pretty good support system to get me through those days, which has been nice.
Yeah.
I find that what I like to do is keep like a little, sixer of things like Fireball in the pockets. So when I feel like I'm starting to,
Lose it.
teeter out, little rip, get back
damn.
in the game, and it's worked for me. I not a big puker, but if I got to pull the trigger, I'm not going to stop myself because I tell you, a good
Dude.
puke. You wake up the next morning, I'm ready to run. Let's go.
See, I can't ever do that, man. I've
No.
never been able to puke and rally. If I puke, I'm done. I got to go to bed. And
Yeah.
my biggest problem, dude, is I'm a next day puker where I'll just drink and drink and drink and drink and drink, pass out. And then my body like wakes me up at like 6, 7 a.m. Oh, everything all right? Is everything all right? No, you're fine.
We're in action. We're in action.
That's all right. No buttons were pushed, were they?
No buttons pushed.
No, I mean like buttons. Like,
no.
Okay,
I'm out.
All right. But no, dude. Like, then I'm like, I wake up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, why am I up? And I'm pounding headache, and then all of a sudden, it like my stomach goes, oh, we got to get rid of this, and then it's like the whole next day is done. But man, I don't know how much of a golfer you are at all. Probably never.
I go every time there's a change of command.
Yeah.
And I have a really good time every single time. But I usually only bring 3 clubs.
Okay. Driver.
A driver, which I usually borrow that one. An 8 or 9 iron.
Yep.
Because that's my, let me tell you, I can't hit anything.
But that one.
And I can put it anywhere you want on the map. And a putter.
I love it.
The putter it's a good one. It has no wraps. It's just the stick, and it is just the country cottage putter,
the mini golf putter.
Yeah,
damn, dude. But I was gonna say, I don't know how big of a golfer you are, but to me, drinking at golf is like what am I golfing for if I'm not gonna have a drink or 5 or 10? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's probably one of mine. I jotted down some. Obviously, I had a little bit more time to prepare than you did, but the Friday after work drinks are some of my favorite too. Like especially like you had a busy week, or especially during like basketball season for me. Like if I get a Friday that I don't have to go out to practice, or we don't have a game or something, it just happens to work out. My God, that like 3:15, 3:30 beverage sitting down at a bar after like a week.
Oh yeah,
man. What else? What else can you think of that could be like a top drinking? Like it's just better with a drink in your hand.
I mean concerts. I feel like concerts.
That's a good one.
That's got to be. You got the pregame. Where you gotta be mindful. You got to be. You want to be present. I've done it both ways, and being present is definitely better. And then you just if you don't, it's just kind of weird. What do you do with your hands? It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Then you're just that one dude, but everyone else is doing that, but they have one hand, right? Yeah. So if you're just
I like that one too. Though I also think you got to be a little careful too that you're not pissing constantly, because then you're missing half the show.
Yep.
Like you got to, especially if you're at a concert that doesn't necessarily have like, you don't have a seat that you can always go back to, and you're just kind of freestanding, like at festivals and stuff. Like you'll lose people. Like I came with this person, I can't find them anymore. They're gone. They're just sucked in by the tens of thousands of people or whatever. Dude, you've been going to some, at least for a little while, been going to some concerts. Have you seen anybody good?
Recently, I just went to a concert. Who did I see? Oh, Creed.
Okay. All right, dude.
Creed, Daughtry, the gang. That was a good one. Yellow Wolf was a really good one.
Yep.
Real wild, but it was awesome. Who else did I see? Been to some country ones, being in Oklahoma, a bunch of those. They were all really good.
Any of those like come to mind that were like real good?
I'm trying to think.
Because I would see him like on your Instagram and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I went to Kojo. Short little fella. Not great. Not great in concert. They booed him. He came out late. Maybe it was just a bad day for him.
Yeah.
But I've heard he's good. But the one I went to wasn't that great. I saw, I don't know what. Blake Shelton? Nope, not Blake Shelton.
Older country
older
guy?
version of Blake Shelton. I feel like they're always together. They used to always be together. Blake Shelton and
Trace Adkins.
No, that's I like that guy.
Yeah,
they talk about
he's a big dude,
and then big old boy.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Tracy Lawrence.
Man, I cannot think.
Blake Shelton. Like Jason Aldean, like those types of guys.
It's those types of guys. It's kind of an overplayed.
Luke Bryan.
There you go.
That's who you saw? Okay.
Yes.
He probably just shook his ass the whole time,
He shook his ass and blew pyrotechnics out the door in the stadium. It was fun. The people that opened for him were much better. I don't remember who they were. One of those concerts where,
you just go.
You just go.
Yeah.
You have the option to go. I've been to a bunch of football games, a lot of OU football games.
Nice. Is that a pretty cool atmosphere? It seems like it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. Big stadium. Kind of, Penn State, kind of the same vibe. People are very passionate about it. And then my house is only 20 minutes from Norman where they play. So down there. So,
jeez.
It was an easy day. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait for football to start. That's another good one, dude. Having beer while you're watching football, whether it's home with buddies, whatever. Like, I will say, kind of ending the beer alcohol talk. I have a problem stopping.
Yeah,
it's probably alcoholism, to be honest with you. Probably.
Yeah,
it probably is. But it's really hard to just have one or two.
Pointless.
When I'm like, hey, do you want to go get a drink? And I'll say it like that. That probably means let's have 6, 8, 10 beers.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, anything less than 2, you're kind of wasting your time and money potentially. Yeah. Maybe with a dinner, whatever, you got to do something.
But then even when I get home, I'm like, what do I got in the fridge? I went out and did trivia with some friends from work this week and had 2 like seltzers because I was like, I didn't really know I didn't know if everybody was going to drink or not. So I was like, I was prepared to just water, probably healthier for me. It's on a Tuesday, and I had 2 there. And I was like, as soon as I got home, I was like, what's out in the fridge? What do I do here? Like, should I have 1 or 2 more? And then I debated for like a half hour. And then I did get one. But, dude, another thing I wanted to bring up before we kind of wrap things up, dude, you've, and this is one of the basis of the show too, dude. You look incredible.
Oh, thank you. You do too.
Dude, oh, thank you. But like thinking about like way back when, dude, you were a skinny little guy.
Yeah.
Like tall, skinny, like, you know what I mean? Like you've kind of
gangly.
Yeah, dude. Like, but you've put on some muscle, like you look big. I don't want that to sound, but you look good, dude. So like, I want to ask you, like, what's your routine look like?
Yeah. So I've always been a little southpaw with it, right? Not really conforming to like, they'll do, back and buys and the normal routine. So what I've been doing probably the last 2 years is it's kind of a 3-week cycle, heavy, medium, light rotations every week. And then that 4th week is just more or less just an ass beating, right? Like I picked that last one to just tear my stuff up.
Is this like full body stuff most of the time when you're like going or whatever, or what?
So what I do is I just pick one thing. So instead of mixing it up, back and buys, it's just arm day. And I do everything arm so that, in a day or two, from my shoulder to my wrist, is just absolutely shot.
Yeah.
And then I do the same thing, legs. I mix back and shoulders up. So it's just your whole body just feels like you've been beaten. And then chest.
Yeah.
So just rotate those, and then cardio. Usually every day I try to get some cardio in, and I'll step that up depending, right? Sometimes that's usually where I really beat myself up. Is like you were saying, you kind of did that wild mile there.
Oh,
I haven't tried that one yet. Might need to do that.
I don't know, man. It hurt for days, dude. It really, really did. Well, it's working, dude. Like I said, dude. I don't want to say a completely different person because you're never like, whatever. But like you can see, like when I saw you a couple years ago, like you just looked more like filled out, and it's cool to see. Do they kind of give you the opportunities in work time to do that kind of stuff or no? Because I know with like we've had Bill on the podcast before and like talking to him and stuff, and they actually have kind of built into their schedule daily where they'll give guys like half hour to an hour of like kind of PT time where they can go and they can use the gym or whatever it might be. But
yeah, especially right now where it's more of like a desk, paperwork, travel. It's not really an operational job. They'll give us time to go do it in the middle of the day. Personally, I don't. Almost everybody does in the office, but I just can't make myself go work out and then come back to work.
Yeah,
and like be productive. Like by then I'm just shot, and I don't want anything to do with that. So I just usually work out as soon as I get home. I don't sit down. I just go change.
Yep.
And usually go right to the gym. I'm also not like a morning workout guy unless I'm like super motivated.
Yep.
For a little while I was getting up before work. It was like 4 a.m. running, and I did that for a little while. That kickstarted me though,
Yeah, it does. I've done it a few times here and there. It's really nice to like get it done, get it over with. You feel a little bit more alert and kind of locked in, but man, consistently, like I respect anybody that can do it like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm the same way though. I go to work and then just right to the gym if I can. Like if I'm able to, it's just part of my work day. Send the kids off to the grandparents after school or whatever needs to be done. Go to the gym, get it done, go home, cook dinner, whatever I need to do, and hit it again the next day. So I am a little bit more traditional, like with my stuff. I'm on kind of a split that I feel like's been relatively working with. I'll do a push day, followed by pull the next day, and then I'll go legs, then a cardio day, and then right back to push pull. But then the second set of that, I go cardio, then legs. So I kind of flip flop those a little bit. But I'm kind of the same as you. I kind of get my cardio in relatively daily, whether that's like on a bike for a half hour, walking on an incline or whatever it might be. But I do like running a little bit too. So kind of addicted to it by now.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the hot girl walk is the calorie burn. And I put that incline 18 or 15.
Yeah.
Do like a 2.5 to 3. And if you have the time, if you can do like 20 to 45 minutes, it's mind blowing.
Oh yeah.
You put something in your ears where you can just like disappear in your head for a little bit, and you're 600 calories down in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
So before we let you go, we teased the story. We got to tell the Johnson Fest story before I let you go. So for those of you that were there, you already know this story, which was not very many, but I used to throw a party at Jen's parents' house out in like their field, and we would have a bonfire, and there was tent and all these different things. This was probably the second or third year ever that we were having this party, kind of this annual party, and we had a bonfire, and Jen's parents had some furniture, old furniture that was just kind of like thrown out in the bushes a little bit because it was due to be burned at some point. So we had a great idea to burn the furniture. And I don't know who it was, but one of us threw one of the wooden chairs into the fire, and it was on its legs, like it was sitting, just
perfectly landed.
You know, and the fire wasn't roaring at this point.
Deep coals.
Yes,
you know, that big deep bed of coals.
Yes. And do you want to describe what happened next, D. White?
Yeah. So I don't exactly. I mean, I know what happened. I don't know exactly how it came to be, what provoked.
No clue.
Maybe nothing. Maybe just because there was a chair that needed to be sat on. I guess. And yeah, it's dead center, and I cruised out there. It just casually sat in this chair that was ablaze, and I don't know how hot. I mean, it was hot. You could have made a sword out of there. You know, it was hundreds of degrees. I was, a couple drinks in, feeling no pain, obviously. And I mean, I sat there. I felt like it was forever.
It was a good 2 or 3 count, man. It was like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
Just dead center. And then everyone just kind of froze as well. Like
when are you going to get off?
Yeah. Like, ha, and then like a,
hey.
Oh, okay. And then, it was almost to the point where,
Now, here's the question, though, because I still, to this day, quote this from you. Do you remember leaving the chair and what you said?
Gosh.
Because I had a video on my phone forever, dude. And as years went by and you're transferring phones over and stuff or whatever, I lost it. But I still, to this day, will quote exactly what you said getting out of that fire.
Oh, my gosh. I don't remember. I mean,
it was 2 words. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, 2 words.
Man, I don't know.
You said
a bit toasty or something.
Nope.
I don't know.
You said, holy dog shit.
Oh, dang. Yep. Holy dog shit. Yep.
You sat down. 1, 2, 3. Holy dog shit.
Yeah. And now
it was incredible.
And now we're here.
Yeah. Now we're here. Now we're a teacher and coach and a fucking just incredible military guy. Like it still blows my mind, dude. What's your official title?
So I'm a Naval Flight Officer is my designator, if you will.
Okay.
Right now I'm an Admiral's aide. When I go back and do the actual mission, I'm a combat systems officer / mission commander.
Okay. One more. Do you remember the year of Johnson Fest when it was basically a monsoon?
Yes.
You were there for that. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Is this when we put on the concert?
Yes, dude.
We're in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, but still made Facebook headlines.
We sure did. There was neighboring houses asking us not to play This Girl's on Fire by Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
Because that must have played 2 or 3 times. We had to, under the big tent, do you remember we had to put everything in the middle?
Yes.
Because the rain this was the closest to a severe thunderstorm without the thunder and lightning. It was just pouring. And that was also the year where we had a bunch of pallets.
Oh, yeah.
And we were just throwing pallets. And I remember we had 13, 14, 15 pallets. And every time we would throw one on, Bill would just scream the number of pallets. He would be 13 pallets, 14 pallets. And this fire was 20 feet tall, but it didn't matter.
No.
If it fell over, it was just going to get washed out by all the rain. We were spraying each other with hoses. The hose was just out there, just sliding in the mud. Yeah,
that's what that was the slip and slide, or no? Was that?
Well, the original plan, I think, was to have a slip and slide, and then so we always brought the hose out, just in case like fire or whatever. And for the slip and slide, there was no slip and slide that year because it just started downpouring. And so we just started spraying each other. We were running around in just our shorts and just fucking sliding all over the place. And I remember that was, Bill and I talk about this, probably the most fun year. And there was like 7 people.
Yeah.
Because I still remember somebody pulled up. To this day, I still have no idea. You could see their headlights. They pulled up. They stopped in the driveway for like 20, 30 minutes, never got out, and then just left. Yeah. Oh, my God. Great times, dude.
Yeah. Amazing.
Great times. You don't still have the Wrangler, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you really, dude?
Yeah.
God damn. I got to get in that another time. I have to.
Sure. Like 200,000 miles on that bad boy.
Holy shit. Holy dog shit.
Holy dog shit.
That's like incredible. Well,
like brand new.
D White, you're the man. Before I let you go, I just want to tell you, man, I like you brought it up earlier with how like so many of our friends are, doing kind of all these like crazy things. And, I know I'm still in Towanda, but, teaching for 13 years now and being a coach out in Troy and winning district championships with those teams the last couple of years. And you got you in Oklahoma and Memphis, and you got Bill doing his thing, and like just all our buddies. We got friends down in Atlanta working for Chick-fil-A. We got Wally out in Wisconsin doing his thing. Like we got like even like Jordan Clark, like coaching a 6A school down in Southern Pennsylvania, like head coach. Like it's really like I can't say how proud I am of you, like on an honest note. And I can't wait to see you again in person. And we'll have to plan something out soon and get together.
For sure. That would be a heck of a podcast live. Get the boys together.
Might be dangerous. Might be the last podcast.
Yeah, probably.
All right, buddy. So
it, man.
Anything else for the greater good?
No, man, not really. Drive fast, take chances. Yeah, you've always been a great friend. You've always been kind of the voice of reason. And,
try to be.
Probably why half of us have the opportunity to be where we are today. So
I appreciate that.
And look forward to maybe doing this again. Get some of the boys together and
we will.
We'll tear it up.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you to Dustin White, and we'll see you guys in a minute.
Heck yeah.
And again, I want to thank Mr. Dustin White for joining us. A very old friend of mine, new to the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed the segment with him, kind of learning about the ins and outs of his work in the military. I really appreciate you guys giving our podcast a lot of love. Again, if you're looking for us on Instagram, at the FullRange Pod. If you're showing some love on Spotify, check us out on YouTube, and vice versa. If you're watching us on YouTube, check us out on Spotify. Give us a like, follow. Trying to get to 100 followers on Instagram would be great. Check out the merch shop. Give Old Walls House Podcast some love. I will be on the show again this coming week, Monday or Tuesday. He'll drop the episode. We're going to be talking the NFC and AFC West in the NFL preview episodes. I'm really, really excited. We'll have another great episode for you next week, episode 42. This was episode 41. Appreciate you guys. Have a great week.